I'm not sure. There's not a bell.
Heritage Festival group got together and helped kind of arrange this, and they've also arranged for night luncheon at City Hall when it is over with here this morning. If you would, just walk back to City Hall. We felt like it'd be air conditioned there and you wouldn't be outside, but have some sandwiches and drinks, so everybody will be sure and walk down to City Hall afterwards. And our very special guest this morning from Houston is Mr. Ed J. Reitsma, the Consul General from the Netherlands. He's been in Houston now for almost 2 years. This is his first visit to Nederland, and we're just very, very pleased to have him attend here today. And he had special interest in coming here today, and so I know you're not here to listen to me, you're here to listen to Consul General. I just turned over to Ed.
Thank you, Mr. May. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my first official visit. I have been here previously. I arrived here shortly after 9/11. Of course, I was intrigued by the name of the map, so I decided on my way down to Louisiana to pay this a visit, and I thought quite some familiar things from me. If you know something about Dutch names, then from here, from time to time, you see that. Now, you know, the Dutch and the United States have quite some common history. Everybody knows that the Dutch founded New Netherlands, which later on became New York, New Jersey. And we lost that as easily again. Less people know that in 1776, the very first country to salute the American flag were the Dutch. We had in St. Eustatius, which is one of the Netherlands Antilles, we had a fort, and from that fort they sent money and guns and all kind of, well, even food to the United States to help them in the war for the liberation. This, of course, was smuggling, and we were great at that. And we made some money as well. But then, when the independence was declared, there was an American warship coming to St. Eustatius. It had, of course, a flag on top, and from the fort came 12 salutes, shots. Now the governor gave order to do that, and ran into trouble because he didn't have officially recognized the country yet. So he was a bit ahead of events, but this was the very first salute to the American flag. It was a Dutch one. Even less people know, perhaps. Well, if you want to know more about the story, Barbara Tuchman, a famous historian here in the United States, wrote a book about it. It's called The First Salute. And later on, we had Jefferson's Louisiana Purchase. Not many people know that it had been financed by the Dutch. It was, of course, between the French and the United States, but the money came from the Netherlands. They had some confidence in this country. That, of course, was not for nothing. John Adams was in The Hague as an ambassador of the United States, and his main target was getting money to develop this country. And he was quite successful, though he didn't like the place very much. He thought the Dutch were a bit stubborn. They were a type of calculated risk takers. Too much calculation and not enough risk. Nevertheless, he was successful. And when I was 2 weeks ago with the JCs from Houston and a trade delegation in the Netherlands, I showed them where John Adams lived in The Hague. I showed them his view on the center of power, and that he every morning when he got up thought, well, there is the money and that's why I have to get it. Still nowadays, we are the second to best in the United States for your information, battling for the second position with Japan. So one year we are second, other year we are third. So Dutch investments have been huge here. 90% of the American canals have been financed by the Dutch. The Erie Canal is a nice example between Dutch-American cooperation. Let's say you did the work and we did the financing. Same goes for the railways. We had a substantial part of the railways financed here. And this, of course, brought all those financing schemes, brought regular contacts. They were done under close scrutiny, calculated risk, as I said. Now, so there are a lot of Dutch traces, but not many are recognizable anymore. We are a bit, well, it's our own fault, I think. Dutchmen are not very nationalistic, not very patriotic. Only on the soccer field and during skating events. Then you can see Dutchmen, but for the rest it is difficult. We adapt easily, we easily go to other circumstances in other places, and some are somehow vanish in the community. But sometimes you see, so we have a lot of lost Dutch connection, let's say names, habits, words, and architecture. You sometimes recognize things from the Netherlands, and people even don't know that it is something typical Dutch. Now, here in Nederland, that's another story. You can't possibly miss this mill. So somehow, the history, the Dutch part of the history of this region is anchored here, in this nice museum. And there's quite some of this history known and recorded. And that, of course, is thanks to W.T. Block, who wrote it down. And he wrote, for instance, tulip transplants to East Texas, the Dutch migration to the Netherlands, Texas, 1895 till 1915, after it stopped in the First World War. And the value of his work lies not only in the inside the office, but certainly in his registration of stories from living memory. Everyday people's stories of mud, money and mosquitoes. And that in the early days of the settlement. You, Mr. Block, saved, so to speak, single-handedly a part of Dutch history abroad and preserved it for coming generation. It is therefore William Theatre Block that Her Majesty Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands has decided to nominate you Knight in the Order of Orange-Nassau. And I now thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
This is about you right now.
So he's a Frisian. I'm a Frisian too.
Yeah. His name is Reach.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming over. I appreciate this so much. I do that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he's a
Recognize that. What was your name?
Jan.
Oh, yeah. We were afraid we weren't going to get a hold of you, or that you wouldn't know about it. Rhonda was trying to get in touch with you.
He really deserves his honor.
Yes, he does.
GXA 32 years. Before APT in Germany during occupation. I fought through Limburg and Berlin and nice to go to World War II.
You've always been a great communicator.
And that's the Nederland Historical Society.
Thank you very much.
We're very happy for you, and these are for your wife who has been able to support
That's my sir. should be by some.
Well, that was what we went to do.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Nederland Chamber of Commerce, I would like to briefly introduce myself. I'm Casey Taylor, President, and Mr. Black, we are very, very pleased that you've received this honor. It's very well deserved.
Thank you.
And we're very proud that you have made Nederland your home and continued the history for those of us who did not know that history. So we're very honored to have you.
I guess I can call it home. I've lived here 70 years. And all of my people were from over in Nederland anyway. I was born over here in Fort Natchez.
Well, we'll be happy for you to call Nederland your home. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you all would like to join us at City Hall, we have some refreshments. Mr. Block, they would like to interview you. Okay.
He graduated from Nederland.
For tonight.
Yes. Yes. Over here, right over here. Come on, Bobby. Good. Let me get another one. And I want you in there for one.
Are they all coming over to Rhonda?
Mama,
Oh,
what struck me is here's 4 generations.